Example 7.5. A particle is fired straight up from the ground to reach a height of s feet in t seconds, where s of t is equal to 128t minus 16t square. Compute the maximum height of the particle reached. What is the velocity when the particle hits the ground? Now we have a particle that is fired straight up from the ground. This is the ground. It is fired straight up from the ground and it reaches some height. This is the height. So it reaches some height that is measured in feet in t seconds. So the height reached is a function of time. S of t, the distance is given by 128t minus 16t square. Okay. Then now we have to compute the maximum height. Now it reaches a maximum height and it will fall down, right? So the maximum height we have to find, and so this height we have to find. And also what is the velocity when the particle hits the ground? When it hits the ground, what is the velocity? So two things we have to find. First of all, at the maximum height, the velocity Vt of the particle is 0. When the height reaches the maximum, the velocity will become 0 and the particle will fall down, right? So V of t is equal to 0. How you will find V of t? You will differentiate s of t once. When you differentiate this, ds by dt, that is equal to 128 minus 32t. This is V. Now this should be equal to 0. Then only you will get the maximum height. When you compute 128 minus 32, it is equal to t. 128 is equal to 32t. So t is equal to 128 by 32. That is nothing but t is equal to 4 seconds. So when the time was 4 seconds, the particle reached the maximum height and the velocity is 0. But now they have asked the maximum height, right? So you have to substitute t is equal to 4 in the s of t. So 128 into 4 minus 16, 4 the whole square. That is equal to 256 feet. So when the maximum height it reaches, the height is 256 feet and the velocity is 0. Now when the particle reaches the ground, when it hits the ground, what is the distance? 0, right? S is 0. When it comes back, here exactly the size is 0. So you will substitute s is equal to 0. That is 128t minus 16t square is equal to 0. You will take the t outside. You will get 128 minus 16t is equal to 0. Either t should be 0 or 128 minus 16t is equal to 0. So t is equal to 128 by 16, that is 8 seconds. So when time is 0, that is here. When the time is 0, s is 0 and the time is 8 here. Then there also s is equal to 0. We should not stop here because they have asked the velocity. If you want velocity, you will substitute. Now only we have found out what is v, right? What is v? When you differentiate s once with respect to time, 128 minus 32t is the velocity at any point. Now the time is 8. Therefore 128 minus 32 into 8. That is equal to minus 128 feet per second is the velocity.